welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the undeniable Vixen, your host. And please let me know if you're getting an echo out there because I'm getting an echo here. It's kind of weird. I hope I am here myself. Hold on. Hold on. I am going to have to do a little bit of maintenance. Let's see what I can do here. See if it'll let me do this. So bear with me. I might have to come back out. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can do this. Lord have mercy. What is this thing doing? Okay. Live video. Hold on. Hopefully I will get this into editing. It's going to be a mess. Just a complete mess here. Okay. It is not, it's giving me something weird. Let's see. It might end up being that won't be able to go live on Instagram. But let's see. There's a glitch. There's an issue with Instagram. I hate that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some beer news. So for beer news, first off, I saw this and I thought this is great. So Angry Orchard, Black Calder collab with Angry Orchard, and now they have Grandma's Secret. Grandma's Secret is here, our new hard cider collab with Black Calder Brewing that pays tribute to Grandma Gloria's legendary sweet potato pie. One sip and you'll know why this recipe was kept under lock and key. So usually we see a lot of these sweet potato pie beers kind of closer to the holidays. So this is kind of interesting that they're coming out. So I'm wondering how crisp it is, or if it's more the essence of the sweet potato is coming out. I wonder how it's kind of varying. So if y'all get a hold of that, y'all let me know how it was. And they actually did a tap takeover last Friday, so hopefully that went off with a bang. Then we have Black Mama Vodka. So congratulations, our product is winning spirits for our clients. So this is a 98-point gold medal out of 100. The distillery for award-winning spirits with a still no chemicals, but all natural watermelon extract we make in their facility, no lab and chemical flavors, no artificial flavors, nothing. So small batch quality spirits, and it's really cool. Black Mama vodka has been out there, and so this watermelon vodka it's a juicy, crisp, and has fruit forward on the palate as well. So this is really great. So congratulations for them to being a gold medal winner. Then this news comes from Black and Brewed. So Utah's first owned Black brewery has announced a grand opening in the Salt Lake City location will take place on May 23rd. So coming up this week. Policy Kings Brewery specializes in providing a space for beer enthusiasts to connect over craft beer, arts, music. DeAndre and Sarah Rigel originally opened Policy Kings official in Cedar City, Utah in 2018. And I remember I followed this gentleman, followed the team, and they've been working hard. When I tell you hard, 2018, they've been pushing it up the limits, and I've been watching them as they had their setbacks and just kept on pushing forward, pushing forward until they have arrived. So congratulations to Policy Kings Brewery for opening up this week. I hope that the grand opening is phenomenal and just amazing. Then, as I told y'all last week, Crafted for Action has all these different, basically, I guess you would say, choose your own adventure. So they have a 1-day conference pass, a 2-day conference pass, a party pass bundle, general access bundle, and a VIP bundle. If you are going to be in the Atlanta area and you want to go to that dinner, go ahead and get the $300 bundle and say and save some time. But if you're virtual, the 1-day conference passes would really be great, or the party pass bundle where you can have access to being able to see the things that are virtual. Especially me, I'll be doing something, and some other people that you've seen here within the last couple of months will be doing some virtual talks. So make sure you go to Crafted for Action, check out the website, check out what's going on. If you're in the area, if you're going to be in Atlanta during Juneteenth, this is going to be your best ticket, your best way to get it. And tell Jen that I sent you. Then, speaking of Juneteenth, we have the second annual Beer Experience Juneteenth Beer Collab. So this is going to be a tribute to the ladies of 90s hip hop. They not only deliver the lyrics, but they also do it in style. Back in the day, you couldn't tell Vivian nothing. She said, you couldn't tell me nothing about my finger waves. Chris Webber's jersey and Jabot jeans. Come and join us and drink with us, drink good beer, fight a good fight. And then if you have any swag to donate or beer for giveaways, please go to the Beer Experience. She is going to kill me for not saying this name right. The Experience. Go to her IG account and slide into her DMs and let her know that you have some stuff that you need to donate. So that would be great. Then this is one thing that I was looking at as I was scrolling, minding my business, looking at scroll my business, minding Jesus as I do. Old Hillside Bourbon, which is a guest that I've been wanting to get a hold of. But they have a collection of four different iterations. So they are veteran owned. And one of them, out of the four, they have the Purple Heart Rye, which is aged 7 years. This bold rye honors the valor of SSG Derek Drew and Sergeant Derek Drew and Captain Nathan Jackson, and I'm probably saying his name wrong, with a portion of the proceeds going to the military missions in action. Then they have a Kentucky straight bourbon that's distilled in Kentucky and crafted with 71% corn, rye, and malted barley. This bourbon embodies our roots and commitment to quality. Then they have the Founder Select, which is a aged 5-year, handpicked by our co-founders. And this bourbon reflects our journey, traditions, and the pursuit of excellence. And then they have just a regular, just old side bourbon whiskey. So if you go to their website, or probably even Charles's, my friend Charles, your friend Charles, his website, you might be able to get a hold of the Old Hillside and try them out. I'm thinking about them because June is going to be our liquor share for Black beer delegates, and we usually try to collect. We only do nothing but people of color as far as the liquors that we do instead of beer. So check them out. And I think that is all the news I have. So let me go ahead and introduce my guests, bring them up. Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello.
So I want to be able to first start and saying thank you so much for showing up, and thank you so much for the incredible conversation that we're about to have. So I have our tried and true Lou Belgium, who we've been doing this. It seems like we've been doing this for at least the last 2 years, maybe 3 years.
I've been on. This is my third time on your show, but I think we've
Yeah.
done this. This is the second annual.
Okay, so this is the second one, and
Hmm.
then we have Monesha.
Yep, you got it.
Monesha, and Monesha has some alphabets behind her name. So tell the audience your title.
So I am a psychotherapist, and I'm currently a PLPC, which is a professionally licensed professional counselor. Um, and I also am currently in a PCIT certification for parent-child interactive therapy and for dialectical behavioral therapy certification as well. So
Oh, awesome.
we're
So you
doing.
say the alphabets when you're talking to your colleagues, but when you're talking to regular people, you say the alphabet and then say what it is. Is that what you
Because
do?
it's just helpful that
Yeah,
way.
I see that.
Because
I
I
see
mean,
that.
if I start throwing out letters, my daddy taught me to educate first.
Okay. Well, today we're going to dive into. It is dark in here. I was not prepared. There we go. Today we're going to dive into a conversation that many of us know too well, but rarely unpack out loud, which means we will feel emotional withdrawal, especially as a person of color navigating through the dual pressures of corporate life and then personal healing. So we're hoping that we're going to get a little bit of insight and resilience and how we can refill those emotional bank accounts. So let's start out because I told both of y'all one thing that I referenced. It was from Dr. Raquel Martin, and she talked about power overdrawn. And the definition that she gives is unlike burnout, which is framed as an individual overwork, power overdraw speaks directly to the collective exhaustion causing over relied on, under supported, and expected to perform strength as a default. So it results in being denied the rest and resources or recognition. So one of the things that she was saying, she was like, I feel like I can't let my guard down anywhere. Do you feel like that? I wake up tired even after I'm asleep. I can't feel relaxed even though I've earned it. I keep on pushing myself, but I still feel like I'm falling behind. Has anybody felt like that? Have you felt like that before, Lou? Any of
Yes,
that?
I'm tired every day.
And you work like I do. Like we get up with chickens.
Yes. Hmm.
So I know like um I usually the night is it's at 8:30. It might as well be 1 o'clock in the morning in my house.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard, and I have two kids, so nighttime being 8 o'clock for me is childish. Like I can't do that, so I don't go to bed till after 11 o'clock. And I like playoffs and NBA and shit like that. So I'm
Um,
watching. I gotta watch it, or I'll tape it and watch it on my way to work, which is still up. So I'm always up. Sleep? What sleep? I'm always up.
so yeah, go ahead.
No, you got to give yourself grace to rest. The issue is
Yeah, I
nobody
feel
gives
right.
themselves the grace that we give to other people.
I understand. Hmm. I be wanting to sleep. Sleep just don't come. So I do stuff. Like if sleep ain't around, if sleep ain't my friend, I just let him stay over there.
So let me ask you
And a lot
this.
of times,
Oh no,
Say it again.
I was just gonna ask because that's one thing that I know people say, okay, I don't get enough sleep, but like my mother, she doesn't she can't go to sleep unless the TV is on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you're having even though your eyes are closed, you still engaged in the television.
About
You're still engaged with the lights on.
about the sleep timer. Like if you put it on for like a 1 hour and you plan on being asleep in 45 minutes, you know,
Mm.
that I didn't sleep the whole night with the TV on.
Hmm.
Like I think the sleep timer is a good thing because I gotta sleep with it. I can't fall asleep with it off, but once I fall asleep, I don't need it on anymore. But I do know some people like your mother who need it on all night. And I'm a restless sleeper too, so it's like I get my good 4 hours, but I'm tossing and turning the whole time. So yeah, I take 4 hours.
A routine. You got to figure out a routine.
I think I have.
Because
I thought I have one. That's not it.
no, so in this routine, like we get so like fixated on it being this thing every day the same way. No,
Hmm.
routine has room to grow. You have space in it. But like if you know you want your bedtime to be 11, the kids got to be on a certain routine. I know it's like kind of impossible in certain ways to like get kids to follow, but just like the kids, you're like, our bedtime is 8 o'clock. So we're going to start our showers at this time. We're going to start this at this time. The way that you routine the kids, routine yourself. So if
Okay.
your thing is like, I need a little time after my kids go to sleep to just like exist as a dad, as a human, as Lou, then
Hmm.
set that time aside within that end. And if you know you're not going to bed till 11 or 12, don't put so much pressure on yourself to be like, ooh, I got to get in here now. Because that's not realistic for you because you're going to
Hmm.
still try and find that time.
I
So,
understand that.
so
Yeah.
setting up your own thing outside of the kids. I always like to tell people
Hmm.
think of it like you think of a kid. You give a kid a routine and you're like, no, we stick it to this because y'all not going to be up doing all of this. Well,
Right.
it's the same as an adult,
Yeah. If I'm
except
up at
we just
12, if
put
I'm up at
pressure.
12 or 1 o'clock, I shouldn't be up. What am I doing? Being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yep. Yep.
I'm trying to get my extra 5 minutes of alone time. It's like, well, wake up an extra 5 minutes earlier then
Yeah. That's
when the
true.
house is still silent.
Hmm.
It's just a beautiful routining type of thing. It's hard to do, I will say. It's
Yeah.
complicated. It's not impossible though.
It's even hard, but it's not like you said. It's hard to do, but it's even hard to hear that you're not doing it because, like, I was almost going to correct you in the beginning when you were
Mhm.
saying you give your kids a routine, and I was like, yeah, I absolutely do. And you were saying, yes, I know you do, but you don't get. And then you were also added on, you got to give yourself a routine like a child. I'm like, dang, I do have a routine, but it's not childlike, and it's not like it's detrimental to me when I don't do the routine, and it kind of is. Huh. Good doctor. Already. What's it, 18 minutes in?
We're gonna have some fun.
Yes,
So,
I think so.
so what is it? What can we do? I guess I would say that if we kind of know that we're tired and we're physically bankrupt because we're no the exhaustion, and then it also kind of I'm assuming that it also bleeds into be emotionally drained because you're not able to focus the right way. What are some things that we could do, some small bits to start with outside of doing the routine? Is there something, should we write it down? Is
I think it just depends on you as a person. So for me, I am one of those people who's very kind of strict-ish in it. So tonight, I'm not gonna get in the bed until maybe like 9 because I'm still gonna take my dog out and do what I was gonna do earlier. But I also am like, I'm gonna be asleep by 11, so I start like decreasing my stimulation to give your brain some rest because you're like, I got my TV on. You said it, like your brain not slowing down, like you still
Hmm.
got this
Mhm.
going. You're still hearing all of this going on. So maybe if you feel
Yeah.
like you need to have your TV on, have a smaller device where you can turn that light to the night mode and then the
Mhm.
screen is darker. So it's
Okay.
it's still giving you like you got something going and playing because I am asleep with the fan on kind of girl. Like I
Hmm.
gotta have
Hmm.
it on.
Yeah. But it's
Also,
still quiet. It still gets quieter and
It's
gets
still
darker
quieter and
and
it's
darker as
darker because that's what your
exactly.
brain needs to rest. It's
Mm-hmm.
still working when everything is going on. I gotta turn the TV. I'm gonna turn the TV off before I go to sleeper. My husband he'll fall asleep with the TV on, and I'm up in the middle of the night like turning it off because this is ridiculous. So just little stuff like that. And if you're like, I need noises, well, find a noise that's more soothing than listening to the '90s R&B slow groove. Because
That's not good.
you want to sing along to that. Use the
Oh,
instrumental
true,
version of it.
true, true.
Right? Like
Understood.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
do
Okay.
that,
You
use
over
the
the body rolling.
Yeah.
yeah, you over there
Right.
body and mouth and then you sleep and you having the time of your life.
Yes. Yes.
Lessen some of
In
those
concert.
things because
Yes,
like
that makes sense.
you're still stimulated. We're like, I'm resting because I'm in my bed. Well, is your bedroom actually your resting place, or is that just the place you go to because it's safe? And it's just your space and nobody's in there. So you're like, I'm just gonna go get in my bed and you watch a TV from your bed.
Yeah.
Keep your bedroom if you struggle with sleeping.
Mm.
Yeah, I know that some people don't have
Very
TVs in their bedroom because to make
Mm-hmm.
it, this is for sleep.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sleep to get your body so you can rest because you're always going to feel the need to do something. You wake up in the middle of the night, you can't go back to sleep. The first thing we do is grab our phone.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Guilty.
Now we're on
Guilty.
our phone.
or, or
Like,
turn the
I'm
TV
on
back
my
on.
phone now, and you get it, and it's the bright light, and you're like, I'm going to eventually go back to sleep. Did you set anything on your phone where it's dim enough where if you do get up at 2 o'clock and you're scrolling, it doesn't look like it's daytime outside?
Mm.
Just little.
Because I can't see. I need it on bright.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But
If you
that
do
messes up.
the
That's the circadian rhythm thing that gets messed up because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you got a 12 o'clock in the afternoon light on.
yeah, but if you do like the night shift in bright, it
Yeah.
looks a little dimmer than if you do
Mm-hmm.
it with the like
Oh,
extra
yeah.
light on. You see the difference even in
Yeah.
the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So at
Mm-hmm.
night, be intentional about saying night shift. Like small things. Don't feel like you got to do this grand gesture of like life in order for it to work. That's insane and that's too much pressure.
Well, let me segue into talking about, I guess, corporate America.
Mm.
So we're in. So Lou, let me ask you, do you code switch at work at all? Do you have to?
Yes, in the beginning, but to be honest, now I don't talk to people at my job because I don't have to code switch. But yes, when I actually do have to speak, yeah, I don't talk like this at all, unfortunately. But I try my best to be as black as I can at work, um, without I just try to be I keep to myself, and when they see me, they know that's the black guy.
I think for me, I do code switch, but I I can be an asshole sometimes,
Mm.
and so I do something real black, and it go over their head, but everybody else, all the black people know what exactly what I'm
Right.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I
to
don't.
let you know, I'm here.
I think my code switching was much earlier in my career. Like I said, I don't really be trying to do the maximum at work anymore. I'm a minimum type of dude at my job, and any talking to people means I have to do more than the minimum. So I'll
Mm.
email you. I'll email you. Please email me. Send me a post-it note. Like we don't have to speak. I go in work early to not talk to people, so I don't have to code switch. And I think a lot of that has to do with like it's aggravating, like to not be your authentic self at all times because
Mm.
your job may be on the line. It's fucking stupid. So I'll go into work at 5 o'clock. And if you come in at 8, I'll be on my walk while you coming in. I'm at lunch. Like I'll leave at 12. Bye. I'd rather not deal with them. So
It's Ashley. She says it's obvious that I don't like the people at my job. I said, when do you retire? Because you don't like them people.
mm-mm.
Yeah, I
And
don't
my
like.
retirement is not close, so I gotta find a remote situation. It feels remote at my job. I just gotta drive in, but I don't.
So what should we do as far as like, because I mean I'm not leaving. I have 27 years in, so I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I'm staying too.
Mhm.
How we can, like, I guess,
I'm
try
going
to
nowhere.
Mm-mm.
how to be your authentic self and not and deal with, I guess it comes into the microaggressions, the little quips that you hear around the water cooler or in email or the side conversation. I'll give an example. I It makes my ass itch
Mm.
when non-people of color say that they're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. And for an example, this lady at my job was in tears almost because why? She couldn't make the coffee anymore because they told her to sit down and do her job that she gets paid for, that we get paid a lot of money for.
Mm.
But instead of her sitting down and doing her job, she thought that the people around her that were of color were laughing and enjoying and talking to themselves, that they were talking about her. And so I'm uncomfortable
Oh, she victimized herself because of coffee.
because of coffee.
Who really cares that you ain't making the coffee no more, bro?
It's not, we don't work, I don't work at Starbucks.
I don't. Right. And if you ain't making the coffee at Starbucks, you fucking fired. So you're not making the coffee. Like, go do your job. Somebody else gonna make the coffee. You can still drink the coffee, but
It,
we not. We literally never gonna laugh at you because you lost the coffee job.
no,
There ain't no. It's not even a laughing matter.
it's crazy. She was really, really like upset.
Mm.
So how do we navigate these microaggressions? Because instead of just going off, like
Mhm.
somebody really should have said something to her, like Lou said, but you can't do that.
And before you answer, Dr. Mo, I want to say like it ain't our issue. It's their issue. Fuck them. Like I got the job. I got the job. If you gonna fire me because you being microaggressive to me, fuck you. I'll go find another job. I got a good resume. I'm fine. Like no, I'm not. No, I'm not dealing with nobody talking, being crying because You think I'm laughing at you because you can't make fucking coffee no. No,
She want to be a barista.
yeah, like go to Starbucks part time. You could do this. You definitely could do this. But you're not going like I don't care about you enough to even laugh at you. Get out of my
Right?
face.
They were not
So
they weren't
so I
talking
say
about her.
all that to say, Dr. Mo, it don't seem like that's any black person's problem in Angie's office. That's that white lady's problem. And I don't gotta deal with that. Like I'm gonna call HR and like she crying on the job. Like ain't that some repercussions? Should
Well,
she
she
be on
creating a
probation or something?
hostile
Yeah.
environment now with her
She
tears.
crying. Yes, yes. Them tears are fragile. I
So
don't like it. I'm scared. I'm scared because I know anytime a white lady cry, something bad may happen to me. Nope, get her out of
well
Mhm.
here.
that
Get her the
what
fuck
Pete
out
Hostile
of here.
tears right there.
well
Yeah.
Pete is what ended up happening because she got uncomfortable. She got moved to the other side of the building.
Good,
it,
good.
it,
As she
it, it,
should.
it,
Away from
it
the coffee
backfired on
maker.
her.
Away from the coffee maker. Get there as
Baby,
far away from the coffee.
baby, she had to shuffle so far from that coffee.
Fuck,
It's hilarious.
golly.
Woo,
So
Get
go
her
ahead.
K pot in the microwave and she be fine.
So, Doctor, what do
White
you say
people
to
are
this?
hilarious. I love to see it in action. Because this is probably what your conversation looked like on the side. Like, girl, don't
Yeah.
nobody even care.
We laughed after you got moved because you got
No, we
moved.
don't.
It had nothing to do
We
with the
was
coffee.
Over there like that. We was over there shouting. We were shouting. Good.
No,
Goodbye.
So
no,
nobody
but
cares, man.
seriously, I was about to say that what Lou said. It's not your responsibility to coddle her feelings. Did you tell her that she couldn't make the coffee no more? Was that your decision to tell her? Did you walk up to her like, you make really bad coffee and we get paid too much to have this nasty shit? Like, did this? No, you can't control that woman's feelings at all. And the way that you responded to it, you can't. if you're doing your part in this, there's not much that you can, unless you antagonize and they're like, hey, we all too old for that. Ain't nobody
Right.
about to do that.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
not doing that. I'm genuinely one of those people. What is it hurting? Intention versus impact is important too. Like, it didn't even sound like none of that was there. Like, the boss was probably like, we pay you too much money to come and make damn coffee for 3 hours.
Right. Right. And Jim over here makes a good ass cup of coffee. He comes in at 7:00 in the morning. It's already hot. You come in here at 9:00. Like, you're not even here on time.
Yeah, that
Coffee
thing
late
is,
and nasty. Coffee late and nasty.
you can't. That's one of those things. That's not like
Jim is on.
That had nothing to do with being black or my. It just, her feelings was hurt.
Yeah,
and
I think it could. So you think it could have been anybody laughing at her? She would have took it that way.
I think it could have been anybody.
Now, what? Now, Angie, was they laughing? Was they really laughing at her, or was they just laughing?
No, it could have been anybody. It sounded like
nobody even knew what was happening.
It was between two people.
This don't sound like a microaggression.
It went through the rumor mill. Yeah, that's
because the people that she was saying was doing it. They don't even fucking drink coffee. I bring my own coffee to work.
Yeah, I'm like,
she thoroughly enjoyed going in and messing with them 50 creamers and the sugar and being the fucking barista, making $40 an hour. She was a 40 hour.
And now you got bumped down the hallway. You can't even be close to your baby no more. You out here butt naked with no coffee.
Yeah, no, that didn't sound like a mic. That just sounded like somebody had their feelings hurt and maybe needed to do or say something.
I agree.
Like, wasn't even that would have been one of them. We would have been like, all right, girl, get your ass on.
I gotta if we talk
now we cracking jokes.
Is this good doctor, could you tell me if this is a microaggression? In 2016, I got my job. And I got my job in October of 2016. As you guys know, in November of 2016, somebody was elected into office. And I came into my job very, very upset. And a dude walked up to me and asked me why I wasn't smiling. And I said, what do you think? Why do you think? And he was like, well, one of the greatest presidents in our history just got elected. You should be happy. I haven't spoken to him since. Do you think I was microaggressed? Or do you think he was just delusional?
He was very direct. But he wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he was openly like, why your black ass not smiling? We got the best person in the world running this country right now.
Right.
Like, he literally said it to you, like, why you not smiling?
He didn't say it this time, though. He didn't say it this time. The last thing he said to me, to be honest, was really nice. He said, congratulations, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I said, thank you. He's a Bills fan. He's a Buffalo Bills fan.
I feel so kind of way about that. We Chiefs over here. It's fine.
Y'all got two. Got 2, 3, 4. We only got 2. Shut up.
We'll take it.
Thank you.
It's fine. Continue.
He said he was a Buffalo Bills fan. I was like, oh, that's cool. And he was like, but congratulations on the Eagles. Maybe the Buffalo Bills can win next year. And I was like, well, I'm an Eagles fan, so that would mean we lost. So I'm not rooting for that. And that was in February.
Yeah. No, he was pretty direct in his approach, I would say. Yeah. But he was pretty close. If he hadn't mentioned that president situation, I'd have been like,
nah, he was really excited that day, that week leading up. And we had a conversation a couple weeks later, and we agreed to just don't speak around me, and I won't be myself around you.
Well, sometimes you just gotta not talk to people.
Right? Yeah, I'm a nice guy outside of work. Like, work has a totally different perspective on who I really am. They don't know me,
and I keep that separate. It's like, you know how some people have coworkers, oh yeah, we went to happy hour and stuff like that. I don't do that. I needed to really be separate. There's like, especially like on Facebook, people will have, add a friend, and I'm like, no, I add your friend when I don't work with you anymore.
Absolutely.
That's when we become friends.
That's when I first got my Facebook account. We all got laid off, and I got a Facebook account because I did like those people at my old job. But that was my first Facebook account. Now I don't log into Facebook for nothing.
So, okay, since we weren't real kind of one was not considered microaggression. This was a little bit too on the nose. What would be your definition as a microaggression? How can we
Good
identify
question. That's a good question,
it?
Amy.
It's more of the like subtle things that people do. Like say you're let me see. Let me think of a simple something. My brain isn't working. But it's more of a statement or an action. So let's take your him smile, like the smile thing, right? If he hadn't added the whole president at the end and just sitting there, we all know they say
because of the day it was and all that type of stuff. I would have known without him saying.
You would have been like, why does it matter if I'm smiling or not? Like, what does that have to do with tomorrow or right now? You knew what he was talking about, and it was very direct.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But if it was more of like they just when they walk past and say little simple things like, or when people were like, you're pretty for a Black girl. What you mean? Why can't I just be pretty? Like, why does that have to, especially if a white person said, you're sitting here like,
you speak so well.
Hey, you're handsome for a short dude.
Like what the
fuck?
Yeah, 6 foot dude for that to me all the time. It's crazy. I'm just making jokes. That's all.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm just keeping it light. I don't want the microaggressions to be.
Yeah, no. That's why I was thinking of simple stuff. Don't nobody start talking about the No, we got to keep it light sometimes.
Absolutely.
How can we is there a way that we can just offset that? Like if someone comes with a microaggression, we can identify it. It's just like.
I'm one of the people that said addressed it direct on. Like when they say, "Oh, you speak like a white," what does that look like? Tell me about that.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Just what do you mean by that?
Give it right back to him.
Like now, I need you to think about what the hell you said to me. What does that mean? Like they do it because it's easy to be passive and however you want because everyone's used to no one wanting to step up and say something. It's like, oh, I don't want to get into like complications like that. Well, that's why we go through all of these trainings at work before we start. Hell, HIPAA and all of that other stuff, discrimination. That's why we go through all of those things. And you take those tests, they be like, well, what would you say to this person? Most of them tell you to address it head on unless it's something chaotic. Like, I'm not doing anything other than what I was trained to do. Hello, we took the same in the beginning.
Yeah. Hi, HIPAA.
Hey, we did it all. Everybody had to do it and take it.
That's true.
Everybody had to. So and this is part of the rules.
I have felt in any situation, if you're trying to be calm and another person is being aggressive or passive aggressive, and you just say, "What do you mean by that?" It backs them off like 90% of the time. Because they're not listening to you anyway. They want to argue, but when you trying to understand them, or when you fake trying to understand them, then they have a hard time explaining what the passive aggression means and why they were trying to be mean to you in the first place. So just ask them to explain what they mean. I'm trying to understand you, brother. Can you just talk to me in a way? Dumb it down for me, because I don't get why. Yeah, I don't understand.
Like liars. If somebody lying to you over and over, you're gonna be like,
and they'll get out of it real quick if they're not genuine about what they say. If they're not saying it with their chest.
I know that the damn sky is blue. Why are you looking at me telling me it's green? And we standing here together looking at it.
You gotta be colorblind, brother. Tell me that.
Like, tell me something going on with your eyes. Like,
for real.
I tell you, we standing out here and getting wet in the rain. And you're like, oh, it's snow. No, what's the point? Like, why are we doing this? What are you trying to gain?
That is passive aggressive. If it's raining and you tell me it's snowing, we got to fight. Like that is angry work, man. Like, why are you
pissing me off?
No, for real. that guy that constantly saying 2 + 2 is 5. Like, stop. How did you get there?
So let's go ahead and segue into our last topic that I wanted to bring up, talking about I guess I put trauma, but I didn't want to necessarily say trauma. I wanted to talk about more of coping mechanisms, when your triggers and coping mechanisms. That's what I want to talk about. Knowing when you're triggered, how to step away from it, and coping mechanisms that you have, maybe you've referred to people that might be helpful. So I'll one trigger that I have is with my family.
Mm,
So I can go to my family's house, and if it's something that is going on, it immediately, it could be just some word that's said, or in the inflection, it triggers me. And then when I go home, I dream about it. I'll have a nightmare.
mm,
And so I don't know, other than distancing myself as a coping mechanism. That's one coping mechanism that I do. But what are some other ones? Because I still want to be around my family,
right,
but
right.
how can, one do it and
Could you
still
could you
be.
do like Doctor was saying earlier, like just like in the HIPAA things, you just get it head on. Like I know it's with your family, but can you have that conversation with them and let them know what your triggers are and see if they could try to work about making that barrier and setting your boundaries? Like, don't say that stuff to me. And I mean, because
And
maybe
it's,
if they heard, maybe if they knew it was a trigger, they wouldn't say it. You don't think? No, it wouldn't. No, it's not.
yeah.
Man.
No,
So having a conversation about what triggers you and what your boundaries need to be with them, you don't think that will help?
yeah, because it's not necessarily something that's being said to me. I put that weight on me, unfortunately.
So just it
It's
could
not
be just in a
in
conversation,
a conversation.
not necessarily directed to you.
Correct.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's the emotional baggage that I take with me
Hmm.
home.
See, that's above my psychology level, so I'm gonna give that to Dr. Mo.
So you was on the right path.
Look, I can't
You
go
were
no further. I
you were
can't go no further though. I was stuck.
she got you. She stumped you
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
thank
didn't
you,
she?
thank you, thank you. She
The
did.
way that I explain, I've been using this trigger versus threat, right? Because
Mm,
if you think about it, a trigger, you can be triggered everywhere. There are
Mhm.
people who can walk down the aisle in Walmart and get a whiff of sugar, and it's like, holy hell. My grandpa, who used to beat the hell out of me, loved to have that sugar in the kitchen. I remember
mm,
that sugar from being beat. You're triggered.
damn, damn.
Anybody, anything. Somebody can walk past you. You had something happen with vanilla. Boom. They smell like vanilla, and your brain is like, "What's going on?" You go into like this fight or flight.
Had a date, wore some lemongrass oil. The chick was like, "Why you got this lemongrass all over the place?" I'm like, "Damn, I thought I guess I don't." So yes,
Thought I
she ain't tell me
smelled good.
why.
I thought I was.
Yeah, you thought you was
First,
in.
first
I
day,
thought I
first day,
did
last
something
day.
with a lemongrass on
Mm-mm.
it. I did
No,
something there.
first day, last day. That lemongrass was a trigger for her for sure.
A trigger
So
for
yes,
her,
yeah,
and
it
it
could be
was,
the slightest things and you
but
don't
it
know.
sounds
Hmm.
like for her it was more of like an immediate, like a threat. And so when I think of a threat in like the idea of being like the trigger, and then it's like, oh snap, fight flight, I gotta get the hell up out of here, I gotta go. So
Hmm.
like Angie, it sounds like you, when you just hear the word, let's say the word is butt crack, you hear the word butt crack, no matter how it happens, you like, oh shit, what's going on? What's gonna happen? Butt crack, we gotta figure this out. What are we gonna
Mhm.
do? So
Hmm.
much so that it controls your nervous system all
Wow.
the way up until you go home or whatever. You
Mhm.
Is
got
that is that like a develop over time thing, or is that like a
yeah, it's
instantaneous?
over time
It
and
was
it
over
hasn't
time.
been talked about or addressed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Mhm.
for me, one of my I'm gonna be a little vulnerable. One of my biggest triggers when I was younger was like candy, right? Like candy, I it got really negative things attached and associated with it, right? And I remember because I'm like adopted. And so one day my dad was like, "Here, you want a piece of candy?" He's a sweet eater. And I'm like, what the hell? So I like stopped talking, shut down all the way, did it. And I was like, this is crazy. It's my daddy. Like, why would I?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was going to be harmed again in that same way for some odd reason. I couldn't, it's like I couldn't separate the two of these things from each other. So it's like a threat now. Now I can't separate it. Now I'm not talking to my daddy because I'm like, man, you trying to kill me with the candy.
Mm-hmm.
Man got a sweet tooth.
Yeah,
And
he don't even know. He
he
don't
like, what is going on? What's
yeah.
happening? And then when I sat and talked him through it, like, this is why this, whatever. And then it gave me that chance to be like, oh shit, that's what that is.
Wow.
That's why I feel that way. So now if someone offers me candy, I'm like, but then I'm like, this is a 2-year-old kid. What the hell is this 2-year-old kid gonna do to me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like this 2-year-old just trying to be nice and generous.
But it takes a lot of work to step back and put that trigger or that what did you call it, trigger
a threat,
or
like a threat
into perspective and realize this it could be the candy could be a threat or a trigger, but depending on where it's coming from and who it's coming from, it could be a genuine act of love.
It's
So
just
you have to be able to figure out where that person is coming from before they do it. And I think that's the same with you, Angie. Like,
yeah,
you've developed it through your whole childhood because it's your family that's done it. But you got to know it's coming before you even walk in. It's going to happen because they don't even know that they're not talking to you directly. So it's just, if you're going to hear what they're saying, it's probably going to happen. So you got to, like, I guess,
like
shield
taking
up.
that step outside of shielding up, but give yourself 5-10 seconds. You hear it and let your body feel it. Because what happens is we run. We don't let ourselves feel it. We were like, oh, you triggered me, I'm out. And now trigger is just this magic word that everyone uses. Oh, I'm so triggered, I can't. Oh, I'm like,
It's a way to go.
Yeah.
It's a way to run away where you
you
got
are
to
just trying to run and just not be present. Everybody's triggered. I tell my clients, they sit in front of me like, I'm so triggered. I'm like, listen, you are a white woman, a white man sitting across from me. You look like a cop. I'm triggered too. You're like, same. Also, I know that we're sitting in my office, and if you were to do something, somebody gonna come here and help me. But outside of that, you're in here for help because this is what you need, and we're gonna talk and we're gonna do this thing. Like, so yeah, your trigger is there. People are not responsible for those things. Now, you are responsible for setting those boundaries. There you go, Lou. That's where that comes in at. Because if I tell you, like for me, if it stays continuously a threat, like if candy stayed a threat and I told my dad, like, I just cannot, like candy is just not it. And he kept doing it, I would have sacrificed that relationship with my dad because I don't like the way that made me feel.
Right.
Because my nervous system is shook. I'm not about to do this. Now, if he respects it, we good. If he don't, I'm gonna have to grieve the relationship with my daddy, but also like applaud the little girl in me who was able to finally stand up.
Fight through it. Yeah, absolutely. Because you gotta the trigger is just a barrier, but all the barriers have to be fought through and got through if you want to continue to live your life. Because if you keep running, you're always going to be triggered by the same thing. So
it's a pattern and it happens. And we break them, but they show up in different ways to really test to see if you've actually fought through it or if there's something you masking again, or if you're just trying to hide it and you're doing it in a different way. So then it was like my daddy gave me candy, an uncle, a kid, a pastor. It was like little things like that. And I was able to develop like, okay, my 5-10 seconds started being 5-10 seconds instead of 2 and 3 days. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
If it take you 1 day less than it normally does to regroup, Cool.
And that's the same thing. Like Angie, I was listening back to our last year's episode last week, and you had mentioned something about BB Moore Campbell saying a 72-hour. And I think it was more about shopping and impulsive decisions. Like if
Yeah.
you're going to make this decision, wait 72 hours. If you feel the same way, stay with that decision. Or if you don't feel the same way, you know you need to change your mind. But the same thing with the 5 to 10 seconds. If you can know that you're going into a situation and you just take every time you interact, you take 5 seconds to assess what just happened, you may be better off in the long run, like years from now, because you keep that practice up of being in the moment, like we talked about last year, being in the moment and assessing what's happening to you within the moment, knowing, hey, I'm probably gonna go home and have a nightmare about this, but I know now that was the word, and I can't deal with that. I don't know how to get you to keep stay with
or even thinking about the word itself. Like,
mm-hmm.
why is this word such a thing that I go home and dream about it?
Instead of just knowing it's the word.
Instead of like knowing, because you know it's the word.
Right.
That's
So
the
let's keep
issue,
breaking
isn't
breaking
that?
it down further and further. Right.
It's the why. Why does this word trigger me? Why does this word feel so emotionally heavy that I have to take it home? Why is it that I'm doing this?
But it could be that, or it could be actions too. So
Yeah.
it's this.
It's the same thing. Well, actions are a little different, because if you were somebody who got slapped around and somebody moved their hand like this real fast, that's low-key a threat, because like you moving your hand too fast and I'm used to getting my lips smacked the hell off by you. Whoa. This is insane. Now I'm gonna be able to set this ground, like, hey, I'm gonna have to have this conversation with you because your hand movements and gestures that I can't handle, because you still shook from that. A word, and especially if it's a singular word that we use naturally or whatever, but a hand gesture, a physical thing, is different than a verbal thing. Like they're both going to give you that same feeling, at least a little bit, but physically, if somebody's like running towards you really fast, they really can attack you or do whatever it is that whatever the action is. Right? If they're like, come here, baby, and they were like a molester, you like, dog, don't call me baby and don't put your arm out here towards me.
Right. Please don't ask me to come here. I can't come anywhere.
Like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's different. Physical movements and things like that are different than a verbal. And physically, you can be able to separate yourself from that eventually once you process that physical action that happened when you were younger. Or whatever that looked like.
Tackle that shit, Angie. That's what she's saying. Go tackle that shit.
And it's more of understanding the why. Because we always ask people, like, how do you feel about that dog? Cool, congratulations. But if you can't tell me about this, like in detail, or what this looked like, or what you experienced during this time, just telling me you felt sad ain't enough. Because listen, sad, anger, all of these things all flow together. Y'all watch Inside Out? I recommend everybody watch it.
I never watched it, but
watch
I
1 and 2. 1 and 2.
So good.
Watch
both good.
Angie, watch 1 and 2.
This is it's not for kids. That movie is, neither one of those movies are not for children.
They said 2
for children.
Really
two is definitely the one, but you have to watch. You have to watch 1 first.
Yeah. And I feel like they're gonna come up with a 3 and a 4, like, because as you get older, so in the first one she has a couple of emotions because she's a baby, and she becomes a teenager in the second one, so of course she has a lot more emotions, and as you get older you get a lot more emotions, and they all just start coming in and fighting for their space. It's a great movie. And
I'm gonna add a little extra, because I was talking to my friend about it, and I had told her, I was like, think about the fact that Riley's biggest trauma in that first movie was her moving because her daddy got a new job, and so they were able to move up. But then think about like a kid in the inner city who has to move because they can't afford where they live. Riley was able to work through all of her stuff within a day and a half. But if you look inside of another kid's brain with those same emotions, they're not gonna operate in that way.
Yeah, especially
They're
if they're moving, not because, like you said, the dad got a promotion. He's moving up. He's moving on up. He's moving to the east side. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
so she's
But
sad because she
when you moving
changing
to the west
jobs.
side, yeah. But
And
if you
he's
moving to the
sad
west side,
because I'm gonna go move
right?
into a shelter or share
Exactly.
this space
Yep.
with 65
hmm
cousins.
Now I
So
need
the
to see
way that
Inside Out from
she's
the hood.
able
I
to
need to see
move,
the Inside Out with a black dude from the hood.
but
That would be awesome.
yeah,
Tyrone or
but now
Jerome's Inside
that
Out. I'm sorry.
no, that was good. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
so yeah, when you watch
It'd
it, just
definitely be
think of
different from
it like,
Riley's. God damn, it'd be different.
oh yeah,
Mm.
it, Angie, when
I
you
want to
watch
see
it,
my
you will
Inside
get
Out.
it.
Yeah,
When
Angie,
you
you got
watch
to
it,
see
it'll make
Riley.
more sense to you.
Riley is the main character who we're in
Right.
her body.
I remember the name, but
Okay, okay.
I never watched it. But I have Disney Plus. So
Yeah,
Sit
check
down
it
and
out
do
in
it.
the next. Yeah, put it on your agenda. It'll be a good watch. I think
Yeah,
you'll
that would
enjoy
be
it.
a good one. That's a good one to
People,
start
I
Black
think
mental
people
health.
and people who believe in therapy love this movie. Like I think
Mhm.
anybody who's a therapist or believes in therapy that is a helping agent is will enjoy Inside Out. I can't believe we're talking about Inside Out today. That but it's a great it's really it's a movie for mental health. It is.
Yep.
Because your mental health starts from the day you're born. You start developing it and curating what you like and what you don't like, and it's a good
Hmm.
example of it's a good small example and piece of what it could be.
Very baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really thank all of you. Thank y'all for powerful, layered, and honestly, it was long overdue. Thank you
Yes.
so much. I really appreciate Monesha and Lou for coming on and unpacking this and giving some insight and your own take on these different things that we deal with every day.
Mm-hmm.
And May is definitely a mental health a month, but we'll still keep on talking about mental health going in through to June because it's people of color, our mental health as well as for black people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hopefully that everything has resonated with you as far as these different tips and different insights that we've given. And so you take a moment of rest, true rest, reflect, and maybe book a therapy session. So, Monesha, is if anyone wanted to book a session or do something as far as like, what are some tips that we can have? Are you available, or how can we get to you?
You can find me on TikTok. I post little snippet videos of what shit Monisha says or thinks throughout.
Is that the
Um,
name of the TikTok? Shit,
no,
Monisha
but
says.
it should be. It should
Yeah,
be. No,
change
but
the name tomorrow.
it's at Monisha369. I just give little tips and tricks. Just whatever pops up in my head. It goes from parenting to like everyday self-care. And um I also have a blog that I do. So I currently have like 4 posts up there. So I just kind of write from my experiences and it kind of hits in like a spiritual therapeutic way. So very much so everywhere. And you can do that at mosaicechoes.com. You can find me there.
And Lou,
Cool.
how can we find you?
Well, first you were doing your beer news earlier, and you talked about Crafted for Action and the experience, and I wanted to thank you for doing that experience. And Vivian, that's my homie, so shout out to her. And Crafted for Action, Bruising Banner is the podcast that I'm a member of. Bruising Banner is actually opening up the virtual portion of Crafted for Action. We'll be interviewing the board for Crafted for Action to see what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. So we'll be opening up the virtual portion of Crafted for Action. So check that out when it opens up on June the 16th. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. I think it's that Wednesday. It's the Wednesday of Juneteenth week. Um,
Okay.
and then I do a podcast weekly with two brothers who have become my brothers over the time, Yoda and Rob G. We do the Brewsing Banter podcast. It's a weekly podcast, comes out every Tuesday morning. Please check it out. We have 292 episodes, so you have plenty of time to catch up. And yeah, go. Only thing I have to say, my last thing I have to say is this is Mental Health Month. Angie has me on to talk about mental health, and I appreciate you for seeing how much I want to talk and how much I advocate for Black people and Black men specifically to go to get their mental health taken care of. So I'll say it again: mental health. If you got insurance, is free. If you don't have insurance, the copay is like $10, $20. Don't talk to your friends; they can't help you. Talk to a professional. Amen.
Oh, I think I'm a piggyback a little bit off of you, Lou, but I'm gonna say talk to your friends too, because you need that support outside of us. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
you sit in that room with therapists for an hour once a week or every 2 weeks, but then you got a whole rest of the week to
Hmm.
just sit. And
Hmm.
what happens if something come up? You need
So let
community
me let me stop.
outside.
Let me rephrase that.
Okay, I'm like community outside.
Friends can
Don't
only
use them for like
yeah,
TikTok.
friends can only get you so far in your mental
Hmm.
health.
Yeah.
It's going to come a point in time where you talk to your friends and they just don't know the answers, and they're going to be like, you keep asking me the same questions, you have the same problem, I don't know what you need. And they're not a bad friend to you, they just don't know what you need because they're not
Yeah.
trained to do it. So that's when you call Dr. Mo or someone like her to get the help that you need. So that's friends aren't your therapist is what I'm saying. You can vent to them and have
Yeah.
them to lean on, but a professional is,
Mm,
everyone needs a
is
professional.
necessary. Yeah,
Everybody needs
I
a professional.
agree.
Yeah.
I just
So
like to
yeah,
take that stigma out of it too,
for
because a
sure,
lot of people
for
come in
sure.
like, I have my therapist. I don't need to talk to nobody else. Wait a minute now. I'm not your
Mm,
friend.
that's yeah. Establish that
So,
off the bat. Yes, they are
right?
not your friend. And
Because you're gonna be
the
pissed.
more your therapist is not your friend, the more help you're gonna get. Because he or she will tell you the real if they don't care about your feelings. See, it's touche.
So, on that note, good night.